Ba-da-da-da.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Find Your Beach. Before we start, I want to make another quick announcement. We will be at Montreal Comedy Festival July 26th through the 31st, and we are doing a live episode of Find Your Beach podcast Wednesday the 27th at 4:30 p.m. in the Doubletree Ovation Room. Ticket link will be in the episode description. That will be our last podcast before our break, and then we'll be coming back in October. So
That's great.
if you want to get tickets to that, you can look in the episode description and grab your tickets. We would love to see you there. And
We would love that. We'd really love it if you guys came to the Doubletree Ovation Room.
We would really love that.
4:30, perfect time on a Wednesday in Montreal. Ooh, c'est la vie.
I feel like afternoon is a perfect time for podcasting.
Un invern. I don't know how to say. Hey Alexa, how do you say summer in French? I got pretty close.
I didn't understand that at all, but
Anyways,
they
speak French in Montreal.
Yeah, no, I got that.
It's French Canada.
Thank you. I understood
Je
that
suis
part.
Québécois.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be there. We'll see you guys there.
Yeah,
And I can't wait.
I'm excited. Aren't you guys excited to see how we're doing? Aren't you guys excited to see how the state of things, you know? I hope they shut the borders when we're up there.
You don't want to come back?
Yeah, I want to be a refugee.
Oh, okay.
I want to be a refugee from
Expat.
yeah, where I like talk about America, where I'm like, man, it used to be such a beautiful place until the Patriots came. The football team. Anyways,
Does that accent just make you want to talk about the Patriots?
kind of a little bit.
That is a Patriots accent.
I was trying to do kind of a Brooklyn Italian one, but the fucking Pats is here, man. Seriously. If they don't get their fucking shit together, kid.
It's not bad.
No. Yeah, I can do a Dorchester.
Yeah. I have found a new sort of aspect of my personality.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. I've sort of discovered a new side to myself. And
Do you
it's
like it?
antiquing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, turns out I'm big into antiquing.
I've been,
I love it. I went to an antique shop when we were in, sorry, you were about to
yeah, I
say
was just going to say, like, I've been playing way too much solitaire. Like, I play it to go to bed because it kind of quiets my mind. And every time that I'm playing solitaire, I'll look over and Rosebud is antiquing, digital antiquing.
Yeah.
But she actually analog antiqued this weekend.
I did. I went into an antique shop and it's like, you know, you think of it originally, you'll be like, okay, I'm just going to do a little shopping, you know, but with an antique shop, everything's sort of tucked away in corners and people that like to antique, they'll go in and this is like a secret of the trade.
Okay.
They'll find things that they like and they will hide them in the antique shop so that other people won't find them and they can come back and get them.
Whoa.
So you have to do like a bunch. It's kind of like it's half shopping and half scavenger hunting.
So did you find anything hiding?
Yeah, I did. I found a very cool sort of metal wall hanging, an arrow that has like light bulbs in it.
Oh, cool.
And I got that and I put that up in our apartment and it looks super cute.
You're pretty excited about it, aren't you?
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been also studying interior design in your free time as well. What's that program that you...
Spoke.
And you're learning.
I'm learning. It's like, it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to get hobbies that are not comedy related.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to kind of find ways to express myself creatively that have nothing to do with this world that we're in.
Yeah.
And interior design is probably my favorite of all of them.
That's great.
Yeah, because it's very you don't have to like have an eye for interior design. The same way that you don't have to be a funny person naturally to be a comic.
Yeah.
Like you could just be someone that has it's equal parts left and right brained. So
yeah, there's logic.
It's half analytical and half creative, and so those are my favorite art forms. Is when you take the two and you're using creativity to kind of complete a puzzle.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's
kind of joke writing.
That is joke writing.
Joke writing is you set up kind of a problem, which is like, I'll be like, I don't like all the positive energy. Mm-hmm. I know I have to defend it in a funny way.
Mm-hmm. And why don't you like all the positive energy?
Because I don't feel like it's earned, you know? It's just like people will show up now and they're just like dressed decently and everybody's like, yes, bitch, slay queen. And I'm just like, just let your friend be gay. Just let them be a gay man. He doesn't need a parade 24/7, you know?
This is about the gays?
That's just the example I'm thinking of right now.
Right, yeah.
It comes off bigoted because of who I am, but you know what I mean.
But so does everything that flies out of my mouth.
Yeah, I look too evil, you know?
Yeah.
It looks like there's malice behind every word. I could wish you good night, and you'd be like, that's a threat.
Yeah, I'd be like, he just put a curse on me.
He's coming back.
Well, also, if you wish someone, and I wish you a good night.
You don't do that?
That feels like you should flourish a cape at the end of it.
Yeah, I do. I wear a cape. It's Gore-Tex, but it's still a cape. And I go, and I bid thee a farewell. Like that. I stutter, too. I go, I bid thee a farewell.
Right, and then you sort of flourish the cape and disappear.
Yeah, but actually it's kind of embarrassing because I throw a smoke bomb and I flourish the cape around me, but sometimes I have nowhere to go. Like I've done it at a hallway that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what? And then I have to come back and I'm like, their door was locked down that way. And that's embarrassing.
A musician that can't make an exit.
Yeah.
I mean, a magician. Did I say musician?
Yes.
I said musician, yeah.
Also funny if a musician can't take, like, Cincinnati, thank you, good night. And then be like, which way do I get off stage? Really kills it, you know?
Yeah. It's like storming out on someone and forgetting your purse.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever seen Kelsey Grammer fall off of the vape?
No. I meant the lozenges, but.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen Kelsey Grammer fall off the stage?
No.
It's a great clip.
Yeah.
I'll play it for you sometime.
If this were October and we were in the studio, they'd just pull that shit up.
Bring that shit up.
We could watch it. They could put it in the podcast. And let me tell you guys something. Come October, this podcast is going to be so much fucking better than it's ever been.
Yeah, mainly because we're going to prioritize it.
Well, and we don't have to do anything. We show up.
I want you guys to know, I know that
It's incredible that this podcast has lasted as long as it has.
Because I'm doing almost all of the technical stuff, which is like surprising even to me because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. When things go wrong, I have to like watch a Google tutorial.
Yeah. And then people are like, the sound is wrong. And it's like, well, yeah, of course it is.
I'm doing it in my living room, okay? I'm not an engineer. Give me a fucking break. God damn it. Sometimes the chords don't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes I pick the wrong output.
Right.
Give me a goddamn break.
And thank God these people approached us because I was done looking for people to fix it for us. I was like, we'll just end it.
I will say that Joshua Jabaloon.
Oh, yeah.
Great. He's doing great. He's doing Lord's work.
Clips.
I've gotten him some work with my company. Mm-hmm. Happy to be spreading the wealth. He's coming to Montreal. He's going to document it all.
Great.
I'm happy for that guy.
Awesome.
But I'm sick of doing any of this.
Yeah.
I get so annoyed when I have to make a thumbnail for the YouTube page.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, fuck, I'm going to open up Pixlr.
But you've been doing great.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting the work in.
That really means a lot to me.
This podcast would be nothing without you.
I mean, physically, yes.
Yeah.
But you put your fame and your wit into it.
I
your
don't
fame and your wit.
There's no such thing. First of all, there's no such thing as fame anymore. That doesn't exist.
What is it? Niche fame? Is that what they're starting to call it?
I don't know what they're starting to call it.
They're saying that nobody will be famous anymore. You'll just be like niche famous. You know, it's like our parents don't know who Tim Dillon is.
Yeah.
But 500,000 other people do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be real hard to make pop culture references. You know?
Yeah, because it's like, that is what the internet's done, because like there's people that like kind of say that they're, you know, whatever, like they're into podcasts, right? And they know like Mark Maron, and they know Tim Dillon, and they know Joe Rogan. But then you're like, oh, do you also listen to 87 South, which is like a big Atlanta black comedian podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Probably has bigger following than all of those combined.
Yeah.
And they're like, never heard of it in my whole life. Mm-hmm. But all those people from that community, you know, that's their Maron or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And it used to just be that there was a TV show that we all watched, and it was called Friends or The Cosby Show.
Or,
and then Jennifer Aniston drugged and raped all those men. And
now she's in jail.
She got out of jail on an appeal because she's too elderly. I think I got one of those mixed up.
And if you guys are thinking, yeah, I'm like, if this is where you found that out, then
sorry
to tell you.
I got the plot of The Morning Show mixed up with The Cosby Show.
Right. Fuck.
I blew it.
We blew it. Sorry, not journalists.
I beefed it.
It's just a podcast, guys. Okay? Sorry if we beefed it. I found out this week that Mouse is left-pawed.
Very proud of her because I am left-handed.
I did not know that. That dogs... I read a study online, so you know it's real.
It was done by the University of Cutie Pies and Wiggle Butts.
And yeah, and they did an official study, and they found out that I think it's something like 63% of dogs are right-pawed.
We have a creative little girl.
Or maybe it's, anyway, whatever.
An intelligent, defiant, creative little girl.
Yeah. She's a little right-brained baby Muppet.
It's weird to me, though, because I feel like you are really creative, but you're right-handed and very logical. So it's like, I think that there's like trends, you know, with all that stuff. Like, I do think that there's like left-handed people skew more kind of out there. They skew more cerebral, you know? But I don't think there's no science behind it. Like, I don't think you're actually prone to being more, because I'm creative, but not in no major way. Like, if I found out that everybody, like, if you told me like Joe Pera, Joe Firestone, and Patty Harrison were all left-handed, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe that's something. But like, I'm left-handed, and I'm still like, you know, writing jokes that are like, my wife, you know? I do that a lot. I go, my wife's just handing me stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I think that you are like very much a creative person, like in that you process information.
I can find out how to make any piece of information about me. That's my creative ability.
Yeah. You process information emotionally.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so it's going to rain later today? What the fuck did I do to you, God?
Yeah.
I'm just like Job.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've had a lot of caffeine today.
It's okay.
I'm jumping all over your lines.
No, it's fine. I don't have any. I'm actually kind of dead, and I'm sort of nursing a little migraine as we speak.
Really?
Yeah, I got some kind of tension headache going on, and I can't figure out where it's coming from. And I'm like, I ate, I drank water, I did coffee, nicotine, I worked out. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Your neck's probably tight. You probably slept weird.
Probably.
You're probably also holding on to something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think you got a jib in your craw.
I'm always holding on to something, Andy.
You got something
That's why I'm always handing you stuff.
You're gritting your teeth going, oh, God damn it.
That's why I'm always going, hey, can you hold this for me?
Yeah.
I got the fucking world on my shoulders.
Yeah. You're always handing me your childhood. You're like, I got to get rid of this. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Now my hands are completely full. That joke didn't work. And I think we should all sit in it for a second. I think we should all observe that it didn't work. Logically, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Sensically.
My foot was touching you under the table.
And you pulled it away.
And I pulled it away.
Yeah, you were like, I don't want to get any of that stink on me.
I was like, I don't want to touch you anymore.
I know.
Does that ever happen to you when I say something in public where you're just like, ugh, I gotta defend marrying this bitch?
You say stuff that's very, like, objectivist sometimes. You know?
What does that mean?
Like Ayn Rand. Like, you're like, well, if I make the money, I don't owe it to anybody. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this fucking fascist. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, whatever, it's her money. I don't give a shit.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I wish that you didn't have your, like, defenses up for the universe, but it also works. It serves you, so I can't really judge it. You know what I mean? Because I'm just a big dummy. I'm just sitting here going like, I think most people are inherently good. And you're like, you see a guy and he's like, hey, you know, like, nice, I like your shoes. And you're like, that guy's trying to rob us.
What do you mean? First of all, that's absolutely not true.
I've had a lot of caffeine, okay? I don't know what I'm saying.
But what do you mean have my defenses up for the universe?
I think that you...
Because, see, I don't feel like I don't know. I don't walk around feeling defensive.
You're not defensive, not emotionally defensive, not like you're defending yourself, but I think you're kind of like...
Skeptical of strangers?
You're skeptical of, like, things, you know?
Well, so is... I mean, everybody is.
I'm not. I don't really, like... I'm not really skeptical of much. Like, I'm skeptical of, like, a few things. I'm skeptical of dudes that are friendly to you. I'm skeptical of comedy people that reach out to me with propositions, you know? I'm not even that skeptical of that. Like, I'll usually do a shitty show just because I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt me to do a shitty show.
Right.
I'll cancel that shit real quick if I need to.
Dude, I had to cancel a show last night that conflicted with a different show. And the person was so... They were like, well, we made a goodie bag for you, and it's custom made, and we don't want it to go to waste, so can we drop it off at your show tonight? And I was like, oh, no. Don't do that. Don't give me a gift after I said no to your show, because please don't do that. And they showed up, and they didn't even like interact with me. They handed the gift to somebody at the cellar, and then I got it through them. And I thought, like, the whole time I was just like, oh no, this is like bad. This is bad, because I do think that people will give you a compliment, or they'll give you a gift, or they'll give you something, but they always want something.
That's what I mean.
They always want something.
But what do they want?
And then after they've given something to you, they feel entitled to your time, energy, effort, and because that's the way that it works. Even if they forced something onto you, they still, because they gave you something, and I was just so, and it was so kind of this person to give me this gift, and I just immediately was like, I'll come and do the show another time for free, you know, because I was like, I just wanted to get it out of the way. Like, I was like, I know they're gonna ask me for something.
But that's what I mean. That's kind of like what I mean about your defenses are up. Like, I wouldn't assume that somebody wanted to, like, they might want you to do comedy on their show, which is your job.
I don't even think they're aware of it.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's bizarre to me that you look at it that way. I mean, I think it's easy to get like so far away from like the pure art love of comedy but it's like, don't you think sometimes people are just like really big fans and they're really excited about comedy because they're new to it, and so they're just like, let's make this great for everybody, and like we want her to do our show because the whole thing we do is her telling jokes or people telling jokes, but we're such big fans. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing like usury in there. It's just somebody liking you.
Yeah, I do think that exists. I'm not saying like, but I also feel like they are. I think that if somebody has gone out of their way to help you or to give you something, that in the back of their mind, the next time they feel more comfortable reaching out and being like, can I ask for this from you? And then in the back of your mind, you go, well, they did this for me and I feel like I should repay the favor. And so it's, you got to know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't experience it because my whole thing is like.
Yes, you do though, because you'll say yes to shit.
And then I'll regret it later on. But most of the time, like I just like, first of all, I like it when somebody dotes on me. So if somebody wants me to do their show and they say, we're big fans of yours, I actually usually end up feeling guilty because I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to deliver like they want me to because I'm like not feeling.
Well, that's the same feeling.
Yeah.
That we're literally talking about the same thing then.
But I don't consider like my time like super important because like most of my free time is, I don't know, sitting around like watching some horrible TV show. I get everything I need to get done.
I think that's so important.
It is important.
Like that's where I go. I mean, I do think that we are literally talking about the same thing because you go, oh man, I'm 100% gonna let this person down at some point.
But I'm just not like skeptical of like the approach. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's,
I'm like, people aren't coming up to me and I'm not like hissing at people.
I am. But that's different because I come from a culture where hissing is a sign of respect. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Seattle?
Yeah, it's kind of a Northwest, like, Scandinavian indigenous group. And
Scandinavian?
Yeah, so we settled kind of the eastern side of the Northwest.
I thought you were Scottish.
I'm Scottish, Scandinavian. There's kind of a mix. My mom's family, there's some Scandies in there. And yeah, I guess it was like when you would see somebody, you would say, I battle you, but you would do it non-verbally. And then you would fight. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of got watered down through just kind of civilization, like as we became more and more normalized. And now it's just a hiss, just a nice hiss.
So when people are like, hey, will you come do my show in Brooklyn at 8:30 on Friday?
I cut my finger and I hiss at them.
You cut your finger?
Or whatever doesn't have like a wound on it at the moment. I'm pretty scarred up right now. But,
yeah. So why the cutting of the finger?
Blood offering.
Oh.
That's another part of it.
Oh, okay. You left that out.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I'm not skeptical.
Yeah.
You seem very annoyed by this.
No, I actually loved that bit.
Okay, good.
But yeah,
I'm not trying to paint you as like some like ice queen. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But I think
you don't have to. I think the comments section will do that for you.
No, but I think you're a very kind and generous person, but I just think our conditioning is so different. Where like I was brought up like by a woman who all of her like she lived to serve, but it was like an emotional contract with people, and I did garner some of that, although I think I'm better at it. Like my mom is like, I made you guys all cookies. Now please clean out the basement. Mm-hmm. And then my dad wants to be involved, so he's like, let me help you set up this tent, and whatever. That's just what I come from. and you come from a family where people were like, tell Azerbaijan the missiles are ready to load into the aircraft carrier if they don't sign the oil agreement right now.
I come from a family where like if you cried, you would be mocked. That's my family.
Yeah, it's cool. Look how tough you are.
Oh.
Man. Okay, this might be a short episode. I think we uncovered like a spinning thimble inside Rosebud's haunted city. I think the top is starting to wobble.
I think it was funny. We were in the car like this weekend or the past weekend for your birthday, and I was like talking about that, and I was like, you know how your dad mocks you when you cry? And you guys were like, no, that's really fucked up and kind of abusive. And I was like, what?
Yeah, your dad used to parade you in front of the family and say, look, I caught a crybaby.
Yeah, that is.
Everybody point and laugh.
That's literally, that's not even, you're saying that like it's a joke. But that's the kind of shit that happened.
I know, it's horrible.
It's so funny.
I do think I should get to punch your dad once, just because I have to deal with this.
If you were watching a movie that you were like really into, he would come in and he would call the end of the scene. And then when you got upset, he'd be like, oh, is that hard for you? Oh, this is so sad. You'd be like,
crazy.
What? He was infuriating. And then if you got really mad, he'd just be like, you have to respect me. And you're like, oh my God, all right, well, I've just been gaslit into a corner for my whole fucking life.
It's so weird. I mean, my mom she wouldn't cop to behavior, which was very frustrating as a child because you'd be like, no, this is fucked up. And she'd be like, all right, I'm going to change the subject. But my dad, like when I'd get in trouble with him, like where I'd ignore him, run away or something, he'd like, when I came home, he'd be like, I want you to write, I love myself 100 times on this notepad, and then we're gonna go for a walk. Like,
that's sweet.
He was such a sweetie pie.
I know. I love Gary. Gary came to visit on Andy's birthday, and I remember after he left, I just looked at Andy and I was like, what's it like to have a dad that's loving?
Yeah.
I literally was like, what does that feel like? Because I don't even know how to.
I've taken it for granted my whole life, and I think
I'm so loving.
Yeah, I think I'm finally starting to kind of like appreciate it, just because I was so self-conscious of being like insecure, And I was like, this is somehow his fault because he didn't make me stoic enough, And now I'm like, oh wait, no, he just made me vulnerable and sensitive, or like
and open.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just gave you the capacity for joy, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then my mother was like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
You're going hiking? It's going to be so hot.
And my mom was overly loving, overly empathetic, kind. We had reverse
We both
situations.
had schizophrenic parenting.
Yeah.
We deserve each other.
We do.
Which one should, I think we already know that I'm going to be my dad to our child, and you are going to be your dad to our child.
I hope not. If that's the case, I'm not having a kid.
But you know what? I say that, of course, joking, because while you're stern with Mouse, and you're like, you are the bad cop if you need to be, you're so loving with her, and you're so affectionate, and she's also never afraid of you, and she's constantly afraid of me. And that's just because I throw her 15 feet in the air.
That's because you just look like a big tree man.
Yeah, I do. I look like the tree from Poltergeist last night.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to come through the window and be like,
with your big hands and crush her.
Eat you.
Okay, you guys, that's enough for today. I feel like I need to lay down in a dark room and sort of imagine a new life for myself. So,
And we support her any direction she goes. Me and Mouse have already signed up to, if she needs to go on a Rumpspringer where she hikes the coast of Portugal.
no, I didn't mean a future life. I meant like a past life. I need to.
do a regression.
Yeah, I need to do some
Okay.
regression therapy.
Cool.
So, guys, wash your hands
Don't lick your lover's eyes.
and don't spit in their mouths unless it's a committed monogamous relationship. And also make sure you go to montreal.hahaha.com and get tickets to see us live. Find Your Beach podcast Wednesday, the 27th, 4:30 p.m. Doubletree Ovation Room. Ticket link will be in the episode description. Get your tickets today.
And
Love you.
finally, sorry to just add one more thing. If you are confused about this, we are not ending the podcast permanently. We are coming back in October, but we are taking a couple months to be normal. So it's not over. It's just going on a little break.
Okay.
A little pausa.
Bye.
Bye.